I'll keep this very brief. First of all, again, I want one more time to thank you for such a tremendous job, such a wonderful amount of planning, diligence, real thoughtfulness around the conference, and really bringing people into the field and into the WASOG and to the conference that had not been part of it before, people that we didn't normally hear, a lot of younger investigators. It was really nice to see that, and so really you're to be commended, and I just want to give her one more round of applause. Thank you, Natalia. I don't want to get in the way of Athel's closing remarks. I have two short things to say, and then I have something to give Athel. As most of you know, this is my last time to be the president of WASOG. I'll make two encouragements to you. One of them is, if you're not a member of WASOG, please go on the website and join. As you've seen today, advocacy and grouping together and working together is a key way for us to make changes that are important to our patients and important to our practices. So please join WASOG if you're not a member. It takes about 5 minutes. It's quite easy, and it's not very expensive either. It's a great organization, as I think you can all attest. The second thing I'll say is that organization is only as good as the people and the engagement in it. And so if you want to be involved, there are some opportunities. You've heard today already several suggestions about guidelines, about position statements, also about getting involved in things which we haven't mentioned today, like work with the journal. And so if you're interested in any of those sorts of things, please reach out to any of us, but mostly just reach out to Athel. He's in charge now, so he has to deal with all of this stuff. No, seriously, I'm happy to talk to you. We're going to the Nobel Museum tonight. I have something here. Athel, come on up. This is not the Nobel Prize, although it kind of looks like the Nobel Prize, and maybe you should get a Nobel Prize, Athel. This is the President's Medal for the President of WASOG. One of the rules that we abandoned a couple years ago, but I think we should introduce it, is that for the remainder of the day, after you get it, you have to wear it around your neck the rest of the night. So I'm gonna put this on you. This is the formal. Now you're in charge of all this business. And congratulations to Athel. I think we'll be in great hands here. Congratulations, Athel.
Thank you. I did originally have a plan for this. I was going to go to each session, summarize each session with a slide and a comment on the quality of the session, and I think you'll all agree that would have been a very bad plan. But I do want to say just a few things as an overview. I've got to come back to you, Natalia, I think. So I not only echo everything that's been said and applaud the teamwork that you all saw evidence of just now. So leadership as it should be defined. What really struck me also about this was the breadth and the relationship between people that are primarily clinicians, people that are primarily scientists, and the way in which you wove and achieved a continuum that we actually very seldom see in major international meetings. And so clinicians were fascinated by the science. Those who are primary scientists were clearly taken by clinical relevance. And I think it's a wonderful model. Now, there is an intention from here, and I'm picking up what was very wisely decided upon several years ago, that WASOG should alternate. There will be a meeting like this, possibly not generally as good as this one, every 2 years. And every 2 years there will be a meeting that is more clinical. And it will contain some science, but the emphasis will be more on education and clinical practice. So this has been a triumph, Natalia, and again I add my congratulations. Now, mentioning meetings, it's good to state that the next meeting will be in India. and Aditya Agarwal, who will now rise to his feet, I hope, yes. The meeting will be organised by him and Sujit Rajan. Now, I've got to know Aditya a little bit in the last day or two, having actually met you before, and I know that you and Sujit will run a superb meeting, and already there's discussion on the programme, and I would urge all of you to consider making the journey to Agra. I don't know how many of you have been to India. It is not an experience that you should miss. And I think this will be a high-quality meeting. There will be a lot of delegates attending locally, but I hope as many of you as possible can make a journey to Agra in the middle of November next year. Now, I've really got to move at this stage to say something about Dan, especially as he wrapped this ribbon around me and announced that I had to wear it for the rest of the day. I did actually tell Dan I was going to say something nice about him, and he said, I don't think you should attempt that something as hard as that the first moment that you make a speech as WASOG president. But I'll say this about him. First of all, you won't know it, but he is actually more competitive than he appears. If you visit him in the Cleveland Clinic and you have a moment with him in his office, he will make you play him at chess. If by some fluke you manage to escape defeat, he will then get you drunk, and he will, with his wife, introduce you to a difficult strategic game on their veranda in the evening. So more competitive than at first he appears, but more seriously, I've had a wonderful time as president-elect watching Dan guide WASOG through the COVID period. And I think a huge challenge, and watching him, his sagacity, his calmness, and his decisiveness was really a beautiful introduction to this role. I suppose I should make one thing clear. COVID president just resigned. That is where the resemblance to Boris Johnson definitely ends. It's also very good to see Bob and Elise so active after their declaration of retirement. So this was clearly a pretense. It's been acted out as a pretense, and I'm delighted to also hear that Bob is staying on with the journal for a couple of years from now. So I think I should draw this now to a close. Thank you to everyone that's contributed. Thank you for the quality of everything we've heard. And onwards to 2024 in Agra, in India. Thank you.